Whatever that for.
What's up, y'all? Mike Dub here. So I decided to start vlogging. Why? I do a lot of activities. I DJ. I customize DJ equipment. I ride a motorcycle, customize motorcycles. I'm about to start getting into droning, race droning. I like the photo drones, but I don't know. If I find one cheap enough, I might get one of those too. Saltwater fish tank, about to put that back together. I'll probably vlog that as well. But and you can make a little money on the side if you get enough followers, or you know, those YouTubers know what time it is. So I decided to start vlogging. First vlog, how, why, and when I decided to DJ. Got a music background. Both of my parents were in the band in high school and in college, so they love music. My dad was a bartender, started as a bartender, and then became a manager of the NCO club on bass. He was also full-time in the Air Force. He used to book DJs and bands for the NCO club, so at some point in time, I don't know when, he bought a massive stereo system. He had 2 turntables, a mixer, dual tape deck, 8-track EQ, big huge receiver, 2 15s, house speakers, massive. Took up about half the wall, had each individual component on like this big bookcase, you know, back in the day. Alright, so anyway, as he used to have DJs come over to the house and make mixtapes for him. He used to play around, you know, he never was a DJ, but you know, just play around and stuff at the house. He had like a little bar or whatever over on the end of the living room. My brother started scratching on his albums. I think he might have, I don't know, he was pretty young when he started scratching. I wanted to say when he saw Juice, but I honestly think it was before he saw Juice is when he started going in on scratching when my dad and my mom wasn't at home. But anyway, as my mom and dad divorced, obviously my dad left the equipment at the home in Oklahoma and went back to Louisiana, so my brother basically took over in charge of the equipment. He started scratching a lot more. After he would leave from scratching, I would come back behind him and try to mix. I wasn't so much into scratching. I like to blend songs. I remember mixing a Michael Jackson track off of Off the Wall album with like SOS Band, or I don't know. My dad had a pretty decent album collection. He might have had like 100 pieces, maybe. So just playing around with that. My brother started DJing in high school, and just watching how he did his few gigs or whatnot. When he left and went to college, I started DJing at this place called the Blue Room. Shout out to Miss Lee for being a chaperone to that. Me and the guy I went to school with teamed up, got all our equipment together, and threw a couple of parties. Just had a couple of black lights. I think we might have had some like police siren lights in there. This is about the time, the year was, I think Bone Thugs and Harmony, First of the Month was like the smash hit. So I think we played that song like 6 times that night due to requests. Like literally sick of hearing it by the end of the night. But anyway, did a couple of those. That was about it. Mom decided to move to Montgomery, Alabama. Didn't know anybody for, of course, a couple of years or whatnot, or a year. End up getting introduced to a guy named Valentino White. He was a barber. We would talk back and forth while he was cutting my hair, and I was, you know, kind of telling my background and whatnot. Come to find out, we lived in the same apartment complex. He said he wanted to rap or he was already a poet and he wanted to rap. And the guy that lived across the courtyard from me, he rapped as well. Well, he wrote a lot of lyrics. So he's like, man, we finna start a record label. And Mike, you gonna be the DJ. Like, okay. Still making mixtapes at the house or whatever, just for, you know, home use, not really doing any parties or anything. I had a massive CD collection of, you know, boom bop, hip hop, New York style, West Coast. Just now really getting into Southern rap. Outkast was out, of course, you know, a couple of years before that, but the South was just getting on. rap. Of course, Luke and all them was already hitting bass music. But anyway, he introduced me to Eddie and Jesse. They were like dancer slash rapper slash, I'm not sure. Well, they had a group. I think Eddie, Jesse, and Art, I believe, were in a group together. Shout out to you guys. Eddie's now in Watch the Duck group with a couple of guys from Lanier High School out of Montgomery, Alabama. And anyway, we started buying some equipment. Tino started buying some equipment. Eddie already had a production set up at his house or whatnot. We bought a little office space down in the Bell building. Not we, Tino did. He's the adult. We were still in high school. We did a couple of parties at apartment complexes. Me, Eddie, Jesse, Art. I still didn't have much equipment. A couple of CD players, that same realistic mixer. We rented speakers. Just having fun. I believe I got my girlfriend pregnant, and then I was like, or my mom was like, you need to concentrate on getting a college degree. This producing mumbo jumbo, as she, I guess, wanted to call it, was like a far-fetched dream. So get your education. After you get your education, if you want to pursue your dreams of being a producer or whatever, do so. So that's what I did. I still wanted equipment but couldn't really afford it. Got into car stereo. My brother then had bought himself some Techniques, a mixer, and was just spinning in his room with vinyl. Couple of years later, man, I'm bad on years. See, if I graduated in 99, I was in college in 2000. I'm gonna say 2003, maybe 2004. Of course, my brother probably already had his Techniques in his mixer, but I saw this Serato hat came out. There were other DVS platforms like Final Scratch and things of that nature, but Serato seemed to be like very stable, very user friendly, and accurate to the touch for him. Again, I didn't know anything about vinyl DJing. I would go down to Baton Rouge where he was living now and play on his equipment. He would teach me a thing or two, and just fall in love with turntablism. Still like just mixing more or less. It wasn't really a big scratcher, but just like mixing music, like blending different songs together or whatnot. Let's see. Fast forward a couple of years, DJing maybe once or twice a year, church functions, church members' birthday parties. Fast forward some more, my wife's sister had a party at her apartment complex. I don't know if it was her birthday or she was having a barbecue, but I was mixing music just on a laptop. I think I was using Virtual DJ. We was just in the house. We was all having a good time. Everybody was like, hey, I can't, I'm mixing music. So they like kind of shocked at how it sounded. And about a year later or so, she bought me this little Discover DJ controller. I think it might have cost like $50. So I'm at the house playing on this. I'm like, man, this would be cool if I could cue up a song. For those that don't know, queuing up a song is like when you can hear what song you want to bring in next, but everybody else doesn't. So I kind of missed that function of DJing with that controller. So I'm like, man, let me go out here and see what other controllers they have out here that possibly have this function. So I ran across the Mixtrack Pro. I took the Discover DJ back to the store. She was a little upset, but I had to explain to her why I took it back and got something a little better. So yeah, that was like my first piece of equipment that I bought was the Mixtrack Pro. But anyway, my cousin came to me one day and was like, hey, Mike, he saw me on this controller, right, the Mixtrack Pro, and he's like, hey, my homeboy T. Felton down the street is having a cypher at his house. Now, Felton already has like a small production studio in his house. And it was me, my cousin, Felt, this guy named Evan, and Felt's partner. They rapped and did R&B tracks in the house or whatnot. So I'm mixing instrumentals, they rapping. I'm mixing like old school 90s hip hop, some 80s hip hop, some current, just all instrumental, just mix them in and out, whatever. And they hype because I'm hitting them with their favorite tracks like Wu-Tang Clan stuff, old Rockefeller, Kanye West tracks, whatever. So anyway, one of them was a DJ. His name was DJ What. He was like, man, look, you pretty nice on this controller. You ever thought about DJing professionally or whatever, or getting some money for doing parties? And I was like, man, I've done a few parties, back in the day, but since when I moved down here, or to Montgomery, they were on like a lot of booty shake music, Raheem, Kilo, whatever. And from the Midwest, I'm used to just like rap, hip hop, Scarface, Outkast, Jay-Z, Eminem. I like the Far Sides, people like that. So that's what I like to like drive with, listening to. In Montgomery, it's nothing to come up on somebody listening to Raheem or Kilo, bumping in their car like they're literally in a party. So I had to get used to the way they listen to music in Montgomery. So I was like, yeah, because of that, I never really thought about being like a main club DJ or DJing a lot of parties, because I don't want to say care for the music. It was, I wasn't going to spend my money on that music. And this is honestly before Virtual DJ and Serato came out. But anyway, fast forward back to got my equipment. He told me about this guy named DJ Who. He's like, that's my old partner. We had a DJ group, DJ Who, DJ What. He was like, yeah, you need to hook up with him. And I think he can teach you some stuff. And I mean, you already nice with it, but get up with him if you can. So I'm like, cool, give me his contact information, and I'll see if I can get up with him. A couple of weeks later, I went over to my homeboy's Chris' house. He's still dealing with car audio probably, or maybe even motorcycles. I can't remember what. But crazy coincidence, DJ Who was over there. So he introduced me to him or whatever, and I was like, yeah, I done kind of been fiddling around with DJing again. And Chris was telling me that you're one of the best DJs in town. Do you mind if I come along with you on some of your gigs? He's like, yeah, no problem. So week or so later passed by, I start going on gigs with him. And I'm basically learning how to rock a party, what the crowd likes, how to start slow, build up. Some gigs it would be kind of like, a roller coaster ride, fast, slow, fast, slow. Some of it would just be a slow build up, and then he'll rock out for like an hour, and then he'll come back down towards the end of the night. So just learning the new music, learning what they like, learn how to read a crowd. So I was basically his roadie, helping them bring equipment in and out, and learning the business. Let's see, got 2 Behringer 15s, self-powered speakers, and like a DJ bank light that had like yellow, green, blue. I think that was my first little small DJ setup. My first gig as an adult was, I think, Brentwood Home. It's like a home for kids that don't have a home. It was a back to school dance. Play some live music, play some top 40, whatever. They loved it. And that was my first, gig as an adult with equipment. Then let's see, I did some biker events. I was in a bike club. Did some biker parties, and then I started doing graduation parties, and still hadn't really done a wedding yet. Kind of scared, don't want to mess up nobody's wedding. Doing biker parties. So I was like, I need to get some better speakers. The Behringers were going out. Maybe we were playing them too loud. Again, I'm looking at how the other members of Good Crunk Squad, shout out to them, set up the speakers, how they played them and whatnot. Anyway, the Behringers, the crossovers were bad in them, would go bad in them. And they just wasn't like a durable speaker. Great speaker to start out with, but ended up getting me some QSCs. So after I got my QSCs, about a month later, I booked my first wedding. From then on, it's just been a constant growth. I upgraded to the Pioneer DDJ-SX. Kept that for about a year. Bought me a QSC sub, the K181. Then I bought a second one. Now I have moved to Georgia. So basically I had to start all over again, clientele wise. Still go back to Montgomery every now and again to, you know, do gigs I book, mostly weddings, and some clients have been booking me every year for like the last 3 or 4 years. So I, you know, come do their birthday parties or anniversary parties, whatever it is. But I've switched from like the controllers to vinyl. First set of turntables I found at a pawn shop for, I think I paid like $5.50 for the set, and ended up getting me Range 62 mixer. Second set that I used to do my gigs with, I found on Craigslist. Just at work one day. Did I say I was an IT tech for the government? I don't know. But anyway, my day job, I'm an IT tech. So I was sitting at work on Craigslist, and I saw another set of turntables. The way he had a picture was like a mixer. So I looked at it, whole thing for like $4.50. 2 Techniques mixer in cases. I was like $4.50. So I was like, man, let me call and see if he's just talking about this mixer or this whole setup. So I call him, and he's like, yeah, everything. And I was like, okay. So like, let me try and see if I can talk this guy down. I was like, if I come with cash today, will you do it for $3.50? He's like, can you do $400? I was like, let's meet in the middle, $375. I'll come get it today. He's in Auburn, I'm in Georgia. He's like, all right, I'll do it for $375. Got off work. I worked 10-hour shifts. Went straight to Auburn. That's about an hour and 20-minute drive. Got my second set of turntables for the low. So I say all that to say, you know, you can start small, take your time, gradually build your setup. I now have uplights. I have about 12 uplights. I just bought some moving heads this month, and I am constantly growing. I now do a club here, just one more, probably about 2 or 3 times a month. Still do my mobile gigs, and that's pretty much where I find that doing mobile gigs are a lot more lucrative than being a club DJ. Found that out, you know, long ago in Montgomery. All of the DJs that I run with, Get Crunk Squad DJs, they basically have all the clubs on lockdown. I mean, they're the house DJs for those clubs. So it's like, there's no need in me trying to move into a club or try to get a residency in the club, because number one, all the good clubs are taken. 2, the clubs don't pay as much as a mobile gig. So I went the mobile gig route. So that's what I do, mobile gig DJing. I will fill in for a club every now and again. If there's like, you know, a piece of equipment or something I want to buy, or, you know, just to help out a friend or whatnot, but majority I am a mobile DJ. Alright, so that's the why, how, and when I started DJing. So just remember, you can start on a small controller and build your setup up. Sooner or later, I'll do a vlog on my equipment. But until then, peace. And remember,
love yours. Love yours.